You ready?
Probably not.
DJ, Clarion has been home basically your entire life. Talk about what it means to have grown up here and now to have the opportunity to receive this honor at home, basically.
I don't think I can really express it. I'm in Clarion because my dad met my mom here, back in the 50s or whatever. My dad came back here to teach and coach. My family, my brother and 2 sisters grew up here. I met my wife here, like I think second grade or something. I left briefly, came back because it was a great community to grow up in. I wanted my kids to grow up in the same type of environment. I don't know that I provided the same one that my dad did, but I tried. And then just like to come to Clarion, Don Leas didn't recruit me. Don Leas coached me while I was in high school. Kathy Tiernan, who was a diver at Slippery Rock, came to Clarion. She coached me when I was in high school. And Chuck Nanz, one day when I was walking to diving practice, passed him on the deck and he said, "You're coming to Clarion next year, right?" And I said, "Yeah, I guess." And the week later it was in the paper I was going to Clarion. So it wasn't a recruiting trip or anything like that. And so, the opportunities I've had because of people here in Clarion have been unbelievable. The opportunity to come back and coach. There's a whole table full of women back there that I was blessed to coach in track and field. And then a table full of guys that I met 40-some years ago that are still friends of mine because of Clarion. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. Clarion's just awesome.
Fantastic. Yeah, we can have some applause. DJ, you mentioned your dad a couple times there. Obviously, you're one of just a small handful of folks who, father-son combinations in the Hall of Fame. You've talked a little bit about how growing up it was almost like growing up in your father's shadow.
Yeah.
Because of his accomplishments here. What was that like?
It was terrible. There's a table right there I can tell you. 1952 Lions Bowl MVP. That was my dad. And we lived in that. And my life growing up as an athlete was to try to make my dad proud of me. And more times than not, he wasn't. Or at least he didn't express that he was. Let's put it that way. I'm sure that he was in his own way. And there was a shadow. It was like I'm all the time trying to make my dad proud. All the time trying to make my dad proud. I get into diving. I don't even know how. We don't have a pool. We don't have a team. But I think maybe because my dad didn't know anything about diving. And I could do, well, he learned real fast though. He knew a lot more than Don Leas and a lot more than any of the judges that ever dived the event, or judged the events. But my granddaughter liked it. Anyway, my dad was, and unfortunately my dad's no longer with us. I remember being in his Hall of Fame, at his Hall of Fame induction and thinking this is like the coolest thing ever, not realizing how cool it really is. It's, that my family can share with me and my friends can share with me and my athletes can share with me. It's incredible.
You had the opportunity to compete with some of the best in the country, not just on the opposing side, but on your own team. Mm-hmm. Talk about how sometimes frustrating, but other times rewarding it was to compete with some of the best divers in the country every day.
Well, so when I got recruited to Clarion, I came in and there were a couple of pretty good divers there ahead of me, and I accepted that. And at different times, I was maybe the second best diver. And well, the next year, Don decides to recruit this Mike Zucka out of New Jersey or wherever heck he was from, and he just proceeds to win multiple national championships. And I think, well, at best, I'm going to be second best. The next year, he recruits Tony Perriello. Tony and Mike switch off and on winning national championships. And now, every year we're going to nationals, I'm thinking the best I could possibly do is third. And that's if I beat everybody else in the country, which I wasn't good enough to do that. But it was incredible. I mean, the caliber of diving, and Coach Roback could talk about it, that we had in our own pool made all of us better. Yeah, and there was never a point where I was really jealous. Maybe one time. One time. I broke the pool record one time. I think I told you this. Broke the pool record at Edinburgh, and then Mike Zucker broke it right after me, 2 dives later. Probably the highlight of my career.
DJ, there are obviously a lot of people here supporting you tonight, but is there anybody in particular you'd really like to take a moment and thank?
Well, my whole family, everybody but my son Ben was able to be here. Ben's at a conference track and field championship meet he's coaching. So they're all here, my wife and my daughter and my son, my daughter-in-law, my son-in-law, my grandkids. But I got a table full of friends that, because of Clarion, they're my friends. I didn't compete with them. I didn't do anything else other than teach with some of them and grow up with some of them. And that whole table of guys that came from all over the place, and the table of track girls back there, and a set of parents that brought them here. I'd like to thank them all. It's awesome.
DJ Bevevino, everybody.